It's 12 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for Seacoast Business Connections radio show here on WSCA 106.1 FM.
You want to get Jay involved here?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah, we're... well, do you want to introduce Jay?
Yeah, sure. Jay had been on my list for a while, and of course I just had to give him a little bit of notice. So I texted him probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, you're on vacation, and but got him lined up for this. So I'm psyched to have Jay in. You know, people that don't know Jay McSharry's name, he's the guy behind Jumpin' Jays, Moxie, the White Heron, Dos Amigos, the Red Door. I mean, there's so many. We'll get to them all. But
I believe you referred to it earlier as his empire.
This is the Portsmouth. The Portsmouth restaurant scene, and Jay's a big part of it. So anyway, welcome, Jay.
Thanks for having me. Well, I've been doing restaurants since I was a kid, like 14. Bus tables at Viva Zapata in Westport, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I'm the youngest of 7, so it was a natural to pull me in if one of my sisters or brothers were working in a restaurant and they needed a bus person or something. They'd call me up and I would come down and make a couple bucks.
Got it. Okay.
So I started off that way and been working. I worked at Benjamin's Restaurant at UNH when I was was there when I graduated. 90, I graduated.
Okay, yeah, because I was there through 92, so we overlapped a little bit.
Wow,
yeah.
I didn't know you were that old. You look so young.
Yeah, well, hey, it happens. I know.
I was there at the same time too. You and I are the same age, Eric. I think just about.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, eating at Benjamin's.
I did a bunch of different things. I worked in advertising in New York City. I worked in film production in New York City.
Were you at UNH? Were you hospitality, or were you in the business school?
I was communications with a business minor.
Okay, yeah.
I sort of bounced around. My 20s was definitely odd, always working in restaurants. Finally did a stint in New York City with Houston Effler, Herkshire, Favat, and decided, you know what, this isn't for me. And I started working on a business plan and audited a class at the New School for how to open up a restaurant.
Huh, okay.
And then started working towards that goal and went back into the restaurants with a different outlook, an outlook of one day I'm going to own a restaurant, so I'm going to look at everything as a future owner. How do they manage their staff? How do they treat their employees? How does an efficient, successful organization run? So I worked at a great restaurant out on Martha's Vineyard a couple seasons, and I managed a couple restaurants in Boston.
So you were, the whole time you were working, you were sort of putting away little notes here and there, what worked, what doesn't work, and sort of mentally making a Rolodex of how you wanted to roll out when you got on your first restaurant.
Exactly. Yeah. Even you can learn a lot from people that don't know
what not to do.
Yeah, what not to do. Exactly.
Now, did you know Portsmouth was the spot, even as you were in New York or Martha's Vineyard, or did you just have fond memories from UNH and said, that's back where I want to go? Or?
Yeah, it was definitely a contender. I was also looking at Newport and Martha's Vineyard.
Yep.
So, and then I came here, and I knew instantly this was the place.
The right place.
Now, what? Just real quick on that whole parking thing, are you following that closely? Because it affects...
Absolutely. I'm hoping for a better city council this go around, a more cohesive city council that can work together and get things done.
Right.
It's just a downright feeling, it's like, it's so crowded, and where can we park? On the flip side, if you did have parking, it's like, oh no, you just go to that garage, and you could usually find a spot, and then nobody's driving, everybody's walking.
Right.
And this is, I think we got rated by Outside Magazine as one of the best walking cities in the country, like the 5th best.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been some great write-ups. One guy from the Chicago Tribune, another guy from the New York Times. I mean, Portsmouth just seems to get, anybody that comes from the outside just seems to fall in love, with the whole area. So
totally. I'd like to think everything I do improves the community too.
Yeah.
I mean, Friendly's was vacant for a while. 601 Islington, where White Heron is, that was a ghost town in that area. We brought that building back to life.
Yeah. Right.
Which is consistent with how Jumpin' Jays jumped onto the scene, no pun intended, in an area that was a little bit, a little less attention was paid to it.
Sure.
And I really think it was, you can credit it with the trend in that end of Congress Street.
Yeah.
Well,
good for you. I think it's great, Jay. I appreciate you coming in. I think it's really cool what you've done.
It's great being here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jay. Really appreciate it. And Eric, thank you for
no
a
problem.
great show.
Yeah.
And next month, when you guys come back, hopefully you'll have TJ in tow.
Yeah, we'll hear what's going on with
Yeah.
him and see what went on with this whole costume situation.
That's right. We'll find out about the scary crawl.
All right.
Yeah,
sounds
see if we
good.
got it. See if we got Eric in costume. That's the big challenge.
just Tom Cruise from Cocktail. That's it.
right. That's right. Well, thanks for listening to
All right.
Seacoast Business Connections radio
Thanks,
show. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Jay. I'm your host, Mark Miller. Appreciate you listening. We will be here next week. I will not be here next week. I'll be in LA, so Selena McIntyre is going to cover for me. So tune in next Monday at 12 for that. Right now, stay tuned for A Redhead Spins the Blues.